Hey everyone, how are you doing today? It's been a while since I posted something on YouTube or created any content for YouTube. As you can see, I have a couple of videos prior to this, and they've been like 9 months ago. And in that time, I've grown a bit. My perspective has changed. The way I see things has changed, and this new year 2021, I really wanted to push a little harder and do more with Man Under Construction, and which is where I engage more. The most is on Instagram, and all the content that I share is mostly on there. But this year I wanted to branch out into different things, create more podcasts and YouTube content. So I thought I'd create a little series called Take 15 usually, and I do these on my break here at work, and that's why I decided to call it Take 15, because usually you take a 15-minute break or whatnot, lunch break, and share a couple of thoughts about the posts that I've shared, some of the comments that I read, and different things that come up during the day. I do listen to audiobooks, and I do a lot of reading. And Man Under Construction is exactly what it is. It's me sharing my personal journey on manhood, learning to be that noble man, striving to be better, striving to be that husband my wife needs, striving to be the father that my children need, striving to be that better friend for my brothers out there. And I've shared so many things. As the videos prior to this, I shared my struggle with pornography and how I was able to get out of it, and how it tainted a lot of my views and my perspectives on marriage and relationships. And I do plan to delve more into that as I release more YouTube content and podcasts geared towards that. So I want to thank you for taking the time and sitting here, and for you guys who have come back, I thank you for your support and your encouragement. It really means a lot. But today I wanted to talk about perspective and relationships. And I've been sharing a couple of posts on Instagram targeted or aimed towards relationships, and especially, well, my wife, since I'm a married guy. So a lot of times I speak to individuals in a marriage aspect or environment, and some people apply it if they're in a serious relationship. And I get I get some mixed comments as far as the kind of content that I share. And I speak about my wife in a very honorable way, respectful way. She is my queen, and I in return am her king, and she respects me as such. And I believe that that kind of dynamic is necessary and important in a marriage, to have that mutual respect between each other, not superior or inferior. And I get a little bit of blowback in the comments, and I just wanted to offer a little bit of perspective as far as a lot of these guys that comment and women bash or criticize me for viewing my wife in this aspect. A lot of these guys, I can tell just by the way they word stuff and the way they write, that a lot of these guys come from broken places, and they lack the self-awareness to acknowledge that, to realize that my worldview or my perspective on relationships or women is based off my personal experience or what I've seen around me, whether it be with parents or personal experience, rejection, or whatever the situation might be. And you make that judgment based on that perspective, or based off of what you saw or what you experienced. So you're thus making an assumption or a decision based from your broken place. And I read through these comments, and I all I see is a guy who is wounded or has been wounded. I can't tell exactly from what, based on just the text, but the way they view things, their ego is so fragile. Their self-esteem is so thin that the thought of elevating, in my case, elevating my spouse, if I had that fragile ego, I would be afraid to elevate her, because that would put me in a place of being inferior to her, and that's not the case for me. My ego is not fragile or thin. I've done a lot of work to get here, to feel confident in myself and step up to the plate as a husband. And I don't mind elevating her. I want my wife to be a success. And I know as she goes up in improving herself and be successful, that doesn't intimidate me. I'm not insecure enough to look at her and it's like, oh, she's better than I am. Or the other way around, if I experience success, I know that I don't look down on her and she doesn't look at me like, oh, you know, he's so much better than me. And I know a lot of guys come from just that jaded place, and just the thought of respecting and honoring their wife, or putting her, you know, in a good light, intimidates them because of that fragile ego. And those brothers lack the self-awareness to realize that it's really them with the issue, as opposed to honoring their spouse or their lady. And thus it never gets resolved because they refuse to see it. They refuse to acknowledge it. And it goes both ways. And a lot of times women see men the same way because of their own wounds, and it just goes both ways. And a lot of times the way we view things from a wounded place doesn't mean that that is the way it's meant to be, especially in relationships. We experience one bad relationship and we place that on all relationships. Us as men, we place it, oh, all women are a certain way. They're just gold diggers. They just, you know, they just stick with you when times are tough, and then they, times are good, and then they leave you when times are bad, which is not the case. That's just, you're making an assumption based on your personal experience, and that's clouding up everything. And the thing about that is that we shoot ourselves in the foot, and we deny something that's meant to be beautiful based from that broken place, based off our personal experience. And yes, you need time to heal and to process and to work through those things. But if you could look past that, you'll realize that relationships and connections with your spouse or your lady, your girlfriend, they're meant to be beautiful, to elevate you, to complement your life, to make you, help you rise as a man. And the other way around with women, I know that I mean, there's a lot of wounded brothers out there and take advantage of women, and women place this broad blanket around everyone. And because of that personal experience or personal experiences, they close themselves off and limit their sight in what they can experience in a relationship. And a lot of times when we're broken, we attract broken people. It is until we start working on ourselves and become a good individual that will attract good women. That's, you know, like for men, if you want a good quality woman, you got to first be a quality man yourself. You can't come in here with all this baggage and wounded, bleeding all over the place, and expect to get a good quality woman. You're going to attract exactly what you are. If you're broken, wounded, and you're totally messed up, that's exactly what you're going to get. And more often than not, that is the case. If you want to point out little anomalies and little things like that, but if we look at the general perspective, the grand scheme of things, that's the way it usually works out. And my advice to you guys out there who say these things, are like, oh, you know, women are this, you know, you're just putting her on a pedestal and it's going to be your own demise. Have the self-awareness enough to realize that you're the one with the wounded ego that's intimidated by a strong woman or elevating a woman. And once you start to work on yourself and build that self-esteem up and confidence, you'll attract women that actually complement your life. And the other way around too with women, if they address those wounds within themselves, they'll be able to attract better quality men. So those are just little thoughts I had today on this Take 15. And let me know what you think in the comments, how you view this, if you agree, you don't disagree. I'm open to discussion. These are just personal experiences and things that I've read that I'm still learning. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put the link down below. And if you like this video, subscribe, hit the like button. I'm not sure how all this YouTube stuff works, but we're gonna do this, and I'll talk to you guys next time.